Hi everyone, welcome back. Chris Stout here talking about the 2023 Corvette C8 Z51 package and track preparation. So as a little bit of context and background of what we'll be talking about in this episode, we're going to focus specifically on track preparation. I'm going to be talking about the preparation document, and we'll do a walkthrough of it. This is it online. I also have a hard copy printed out of it. Some specific things with that. For me, it's a 2023 Corvette Stingray with Z51 package. This is also the same document you would use if you have a Corvette Z06 2023. I'll be kind of skipping over those parts since that's not what the focus of this episode will be. We'll then talk about the brake cooling kit, and I'll go over the installation instructions with it. I will not be doing an installation of it, and I probably won't be doing it for any of the racing that I'll be doing, and I'll explain that in just a minute, my rationale for that. If others have different ideas about it or different experiences, please do put them in the comments. That'll be super helpful. I'm going to go over the owner's manual just very quickly with some tips about racetrack preparation. And then I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a, I don't know, superficial deep dive, if that's not too much of an oxymoron. But I'm going to talk about the SD card that goes in the glove box to be able to use your recorder, some details about it, and then we're going to do a sample or an example of taking that data and using the Cosworth Toolbox. We'll be doing that online. And I'll also be talking about, oops, I skipped this, sorry, track insurance. An example of who provides it, how it works, and what the costs are. Upcoming, I'm going to have other parts 2, 3, and 4, an in-the-car setting for racing. The shop setup, I've got 2 shops that I may be working with to get all this kit of the track preparation put together. And then finally, on-track results, how all this comes together with the plans at Road America, Blackhawk Farms, and Land Speed Racing down at the Arkansas Mile. So please do subscribe to see those upcoming episodes. Make sure you don't miss them, and we'll get started with this one today. So Chevrolet and GM very kindly put together this track preparation kit. I found a couple of them out there, but then specifically searched for my year and the options that I have, so I'd recommend doing that. In the notes below, I will put the link for this PDF that we'll be viewing today. And it's free. It's quite detailed, which is nice. Not everything will count. I'm not going to go through and read every little single part of this. I'm just going to kind of do a highlight reel on this to orient you to it. Don't be intimidated by it. I was a little spooked by it at first, but after a few reads, it's pretty straightforward. They start off with just basically going in through your break-in period of kind of what to take a look at and don't RPMs and mileage, et cetera, et cetera. So my car is now broken in. I think just as of this last week, I've got about 1,300 miles on it. So all is well with that. The tachometer now goes higher. That's kind of a cool thing that happens when you hit 500. Your RPMs, the range and red line will go up. Again, as I mentioned in the preface, this is for the Z51 2023 Corvette Stingray version. The first thing goes to being able to prepare the brakes. Some people, not me, will have the ability and the equipment to be able to do these things at home, so to speak. I am going to go either to a local Chevy dealership or a local repair shop that I have good relationships with and have them do certain aspects of this. Hopefully, I know that there's insurance limitations with regard to having non-employees being back where the cars are worked on, but hopefully we will be able to get at least some footage of that, and I'll step you through some of the choices and things I make with regard to that. A lot of it actually deals with fluids, which is also very nice of them to step you through and just kind of explain kind of what's what with what types of fluids and systems, etc., to manage for the difference between just regular road driving and being on a race course. They talk about the brake fade warning assist. I hope I won't. I'll be doing on track in the cockpit in the cabin of the car with these things. So we'll see if any of these things come up. Brake burnishing and the procedure to be able to do that, which we won't be doing. And alternative closed course burnishing. This is the kit that comes along for cooling your brakes. And I'm just going to show you that briefly here. It comes in a variety of parts. I've just sort of set them together here. It's really pretty straightforward. It comes with a complete set of fasteners. It also has a very comprehensive set of like the how-to as well as the parts, etc., and really kind of steps you through it. It's not hard to put in. It's just basically connecting these things before you put it on, lifting the car up, taking the wheels off, and then installing it. That does take some time. I don't have a lift. I'm not nuts about taking my wheels off the car, so I probably will not be doing this, not just because of that. I mean, it's easy enough to get that done at a shop, but the rationale for me was that they do suggest you take these on and off before racing. I have a fair amount of distance to go to get to any of the tracks that I'm going to be at. So that is going to be just kind of an expensive pain in the neck to get them on and off. The other risk is why they say not to have them stay on while you're just driving around normally, because you think, oh, more air to the brakes and cooling the brakes is always a good thing. It is always a good thing. The problem is that these will also pick up stones and throw them into your brake calipers and rotors, which you do not want. So it just helps minimize the damage. I think the presumption is there'll be less road debris on a race course, at least of the kind of stuff that you would see on normal driving circumstances. So that's the rationale, I believe, behind that. But also in the document for track preparation, they kind of explain that and go with the differences between the C51 and the Z02, or pardon, Z06 packages. Wheel and lug torque, they take you through adjusting four corners and alignment. This is also kind of a key issue. I've seen a lot of other videos. I think it's Car and Driver has a very good one with regard to setting your camber. I'm going to try and go tight here and caster on your settings. Again, this is specifically for track. I will probably not do this, so when you see me on any of the track videos, I'll make reference to this as well. But again, why am I choosing not to do this? Ideally, I would love to do this, but I expect that I will have a lot of driving, again, back and forth between races and between getting back and forth to the tracks. So that whole aspect of having to readjust everything just seems like an unnecessary hassle. It takes a lot of the fun out of it, and I'll just be able to see what the course is like. I'm not going to be a super competitive guy anyway, so my point is just to have an enjoyable time on the track, enjoying the car, and developing some of my skills. If I were more advanced, I would probably go and do this sort of a thing, or if Road America was a half hour away, I'd probably be more likely to do it. So your circumstance very much may be befitting to that, but it's not really so much a good fit for me. So again, classic thing, they also recommend to check your engine oil every time you fill up. It's a pretty easy thing to do unless your weather's bad or something, but make sure that the proper types of fluids, no matter whatever it is, with the dual clutch transmission fluid or with brake fluids or certainly gasoline, air, etc. Driver mode and PTM settings, mine is equipped this way, which is just wonderful and great fun. I'll show you some of that with the Cosworth app and with using the SD cards, etc. So it's really pretty straightforward with these kinds of things. And that's, are we at the end of it already? Yeah, so that's kind of it for from the manufacturer for how to get your car properly set up. There's really a lot of in the car kind of track setup with regard to your settings, and that'll be in an upcoming video when we're in the car and kind of walk you through and step through those. So next up, I'm just going to show you a quick little FYI with the owner's manual with regard to these as well. Okay, first of all, I am a real owner's manual fan. I read them in bed at night, etc. And of all the cars I've had, I have consistently had a frustration with owner's manuals, especially if there's been something specific that I want to look up. That is not the case with this Corvette C8. It is just a pleasure. I will have things, I've been trying to look up for one of my cars or my wife's car or something when something's gone wrong, and I'll look in the index, I'll look in the table of content, I'll look all the different kinds of areas that I think it would be appearing in, and it's not. The Corvette manual, kudos to whoever put this thing together. It is just the most intuitive, well-done owner's manual I have ever read in my life, bar none. Audi, Subaru, Porsche, Mercedes, etc., Volvo. This is just spectacular. So having said that, the key things, and again, I'll probably go into this more so when we're in the car, but it's just so nice that they will then explain to you for like the limited slip differential, to be able to set things up, to be able to set up launch control, etc. For me, because again, I'm a little nerdy, I put little tabs on the areas and topics that I will probably want to refer back to often. So just a handy little tip with that. But again, big thanks, big shout out to whoever put this together. It's great. Similar to like when you get a new piece of technology, they will have like the quick start guide or something along those lines. This is what's come with it, the getting to know your 2023 Corvette performance features. And again, I've used my little tabs and little places to highlight things. But this is, again, just a nice little reminder that tells you when you're setting things up, and again, you'll see more of this when we're in part 2 of in the car setup, of what the proper ways are to get the best performance out of your car, how to do launch control, etc. So these kinds of things come in very handy if you're new to it, if you're feeling a little anxious about getting started with it. I don't want to break something, I don't want to be using something wrong, I want to get the maximum performance out of whatever it is. And when I'm on the track, do I leave all the assists on? Do I take some of the assists off? Do I lose some of the assists when I'm in certain kinds of modes, etc.? And this all explains and demystifies that quite well. So kudos, well done, and more on that when we get to part 2 on the in-car setting these up. Next thing, let's talk about insurance. Of course, you have regular coverage with whoever your insurance carrier is for your regular day in, day out car insurance. But if you're going to be at a racetrack, it probably won't cover any kind of whoopsies that might occur on the race course. So this is I'm a fan of Haggerty, so I don't have any kind of relationship with them other than just being a fan. So no, this is unbiased in any kind of economic kind of way or whatever. But if you just Google Haggerty Trackday Insurance, you will get one of these, and it's kind of nice. I'll go tight here. I plan on being on Blackhawk Farms, so you get to choose here. There's drop downs. They, I think, pretty much know, at least the 2 that I'm going to be at, they knew. What's the estimated value of the car without any kind of modifications? $90,000. I don't have any modifications, so that's 0. If your car, whatever your car is valued at, and whatever you've done to it, add that. You can scale your deductible either 10 or 15%. I chose for the higher. Would I like coverage for time trials? No, because I'm not going to be doing time trials, and I'm not going to be doing any racing at night. I would presume if I did either of these that this amount would go up. So my quote for doing this is $670. Yeah, it's for 3 days, up to 3 days. So, which is really nice. It also would then cover any kind of towing, rental car, or pollutant damage, meaning like if I had a gas or oil or fluid spill or something like that. So it also helps me with my car, helps me if I got in a bad situation, and helps keep the track going too. Once you're logged in here, I haven't done it yet, but once you are, then it just helps step you through a little bit more specifically. I presume it puts in a variety of your driving details, driver's license details, car details, things like that, but I have not done that yet. Here, I'm just going to go to the other one, and this again is the same company, Haggerty. Same situation, except it's at Road America. Same price for value of the car. Everything else here is the same, 15% deductible, etc. And you can see the price bumps up to $937, probably for some actuarial reasons. Maybe there's more cars on Road America, maybe Road America's more challenging, et cetera, et cetera. But so when I go out, and same thing, 3 days, which is great because with the Ultimate Streetcar Challenge, I'm going to be 3 days out there doing gymkhanas and on the course, et cetera, et cetera. So it nicely covers me, gives me peace of mind. I wish it was a scoosh cheaper, but that's why we have insurance, just in case, to have that peace of mind, not have to worry about it while we're on the track. If you have the 2LT or 3LT option package for your Corvette, then you have the option of being able to utilize the front camera for recording and whatnot. I bought what's called an Extreme Plus SanDisk SD card, and in terms of its details, it is 256 gigabytes, which gives me about, I think, 1,000 minutes. And it's got a speed of 90 megabytes per second. These are the two things you want to be looking for. You want good capacity, so you get good quality, but you also want it to not pixelate or be jumpy or skittish or whatever when you're playing it back. So for me, I've not experimented with any others. This is the only one, and I'm very satisfied with it. I think I picked it up at an office supply place. It might have been on sale, I want to guess 35-ish bucks, something like that. So again, it just plugs directly in when we're doing in-car review. I'll show you where this plugs in and how it plugs in. Super simple, pretty much idiot-proof in the glove box. And then I just have, for my computer, I don't have an SD card reader in the computer, so I just bought this little gizmo that allows me to plug it into a USB-C port, plug the SD card into it, and then we're good to go. Now what I'm going to show you is what it looks like to have the, getting a little reflection of me there, that will change once we get off such a dark screen. But basically this is the Cosworth website. Whoops, I have a touch screen here. This is actually a bird's eye view, Google Maps or Bing, or I guess it's Bing, of the area that I drove. I just might go ahead and show you this. So this is where I started it, and I drove along this blue line just to kind of test things out, and that's where I was. So that's kind of cool. You can also overlay maps and whatnot on it. So now I'm going to hit Overview. So here's that same course that we saw, or a course, street. And then we can relive it. So if I hit Relive, it's going to open it up, and this is what it looked like as I was driving. This is, gosh, I apologize. I know this isn't track mode. You'll see that in just a second, but this is just kind of a straightforward mode. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on here. Let's see if I can turn it up, but probably not because I've got audio. Maybe you can. But if you have the radio on, or you talk or whatever, that will also pick up in this video, which is kind of cool. So let me get rid of that. So just to orient you to this, stopped it. Doing 28 miles an hour on March 6, 2024. Gone 0.4 miles at that point. It's 1:56 in the afternoon. I'm in fourth gear. This is my revs, and this is my G's. Just pretty much driving down the road. No big deal. Pretty day. Unusual for Door County in March. So that's what this looks like. I'm going to go back to Overview. I'm going to go then back to Files. It's still playing. So I am now going to go to this. These are just all kind of piloted ones just to experiment. So this is kind of taking that road a little bit further. So now I'm down around here, and I can go back to Relive, and I can hit play. I've got a little hiccup there, and then once I go to this part, now what you'll see, I'll do it before we start, But in this orientation, this is track mode, which is very cool for data nerds. So now I'll hit play and we'll get some numbers moving here. So now what we're seeing is that I'm just starting from stop, so my speed is increasing. This is my throttle. I don't know if I'll have any brake in it, but if how hard I hit the gas will be like a histogram here in green. Brakes will be a histogram in red.
About 20 seconds
I'm in
into
fifth
it,
gear.
no
You can kind of hear
audio,
me talking in the background. Sorry about that.
me talking.
This is my steering wheel. Now, if I'm just straight on, 0 degrees, there's just a scooch to start to head around this corner. And there's a little steering wheel logo to remind you of kind of what that is. This is RPM. This is like a mileage odometer. And this is kind of a cool way they do it for G's, G-forces. So again, I'm not accelerating very much, I'm not braking very much, I'm not turning very much, but as I would do any of those things, it would show up here. Now I'm up to 43 miles an hour. So it's really kind of cool. Imagine if you're on a track and find the areas where you could maybe improve your performance, braking sooner, braking later, accelerating sooner, the G-forces of how you handle this chicane or switchback, etc. on the course. So just really kind of cool. A lot of different kinds of data with that, which I can't wait to get it on the track and be able to learn more about it and do more with it. The software is, I think maybe it's just Cosworth.com or just Google Cosworth Toolbox, I think, and you'll be able to get to it. I'm just now clicked here if you didn't notice, so it just kind of takes me back to where we started. It also gives you like a little highlights of this. Since I wasn't doing a lap, I don't have a fastest lap time. It tells me my maximum speed, my maximum lateral G-forces, and my distance traveled on this entire, not to this point, but on this entire episode, if you will, of that recording, which is just really, really pretty cool to be able to have that. Going back up here, clicking video, shows us what we were just watching. Stats, clicking stats, get a big mirror image of me recording this, but you'll see that there is lap time, average speed, maximum speed, etc., which would be much more interesting once we've got course data rather than road data. Corners is going to be pretty dull and boring. It just kind of shows you on this map. You can kind of move yourself along the map and kind of see what's what. If you're tracking the data, it would tell you how your speed and how you're doing in that cornering. This is where you can have a side-by-side comparison. I just was in corners and hit video, so we get to see a bird's eye view of the direction. And here's where I was at right here, which is I don't know, I just think that's so cool. Now I'm hitting chart, and you can again get the bird's eye of where you are on the road or on your road course, and then this can show you all those different kinds of data points, kind of at whatever point in time you can kind of move yourself along with it, which is also pretty cool. Just drag and see if I can do it better with my pad. Yeah, I can just drag it and scoot it whichever way you want. So I'm a big fan of this. I can't wait again to get onto the track. They do have, I don't know if you can see it here, but there is, you can do a track overlay. I can't force it to do that. That could be either me just being too naive to the software, or if it might know, like if I'm at Road America when I upload those data, because it's obviously going to see a map of it. But then once you're on a track and once you have laps and things like that, a lot of these other numbers are going to make a lot more sense. And then you can, I think you can download it into a spreadsheet. You can probably do a variety of different other kinds of analytic work with your data, with your track. And I'm just a big super fan of that. I think it is so cool. So please do play with it. If you know more about it than I do, which wouldn't take much, send it, put it in the comments so we can all learn from you as well, learn from each other as we start to get into these different experiences. But again, this is one of the key reasons that I wanted to use this car to be able to do the kind of racing and driving around that I plan on doing in 2024 with it and enjoying it. So again, be sure to like and subscribe, tell your friends about it. If you are interested in, you may or may not know this, but I also have about 19 episodes on my BMW 2022 R9T Option 719. That's got more modifications and things like that to it. I've got links to those. So if you like two-wheel fun, more so modifications rather than driving around or racing, 2025 I've got plans for a Kawasaki build for racing, so we'll get into that. But I digress. So I hope this is helpful. I'm looking forward to playing around in the cockpit with these different adjustments and then showing you that, and then finally getting it out on the course and seeing what differences those make. So thanks again. Drive safe, race safe, and please do subscribe, share this, and if you have questions, or even better, if you have answers, please put them in the comments below. Thanks.